Hello and welcome. We are live. How are we all doing? Let us know you can hear us okay. And we're talking about positivity today on Beyond the Bends. And we're joined by the wonderful and our in-house coach, Chris Fawcett. Do you want to say hi, Chris?
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well. And it's going to be a special day today. We're going all things positive, mental attitude, and everything that comes in under that as well. So it's going to be a big one. So
yeah,
hello.
Just let us know you can all hear us okay, where you're watching or listening from. And yeah, let us know that you can see, hear, everything's connected well. And then we'll crack on. Just let a few more come in and we'll start talking about positivity. So can you hear us all? We have
got one thumbs up there. We are good.
So okay, so we'll start cracking on. So positivity is the live Q&A. If anyone does have any questions, straight up pop them into the comments, and we'll answer them as and when. But we're just going to go on a bit of a rant and a ramble about positivity as we do. And yeah, we're joined. If you've just joined us now, we're joined by Chris Fawcett. He is our in-house motivational coach at North and Soul. So let's go, Chris. Positivity. What's your thoughts on it? Does it exist? Who are? What are we saying?
Wow. Where do we start? So I just learned something new, and I was just mentioning it to you a moment ago. To create a positive attitude, and positivity gets bandied about a lot, and it's not just about positivity, but to create a positive attitude, you must have to want to be positive. You must have to want to have a positive attitude towards life. And I just realized this. I must have known it before because I'm obviously here today speaking and doing what I do, but to have a realization that you have to want it. And we chatted earlier very quickly, didn't we? And I woke up and I didn't feel very excited for the day today. I was tired, I was aching and all this kind of thing, but something turned me around. Something inside me turned me around and got me going and got me to do my morning routine and got me to be in a really good, happy, positive, strong and focused place today. And that is a desire. That's a hunger within. And, you've got it and I've got it and Paul's got it. And it's really important. And I realized that myself today. It's very something simple, but anyway, we're always learning, aren't we?
Oh, forever. Yeah, we're a learning machine. That's how we get by. I want to put a little spin on that as well. And I truly believe this, whether you like it or not, this is true. So we're all in a position, each and every one of us, where we are now. And that's because you fought it. So whether that's positive, you're in a positive position or a negative position, you're in that position that you're in today, this very second, because you fought it. You kept like the positive side and the negative side are there, but it's which one you run with. Yeah. So the brain has two parts to it, left and right. Let's just do this as an analogy. One side is positive. One side is negative. That's all you've got to it. Okay. And you've got millions and millions of workers inside this brain of yours. Yeah. So the left side has 1 million workers. The right side has 1 million workers. And you are the boss. Okay. So if you wake up the boss and says, today's not my day. I'm not having a good day today. I'm not a morning person. Okay. So foreman comes of the factory worker. The foreman comes, yeah, he whistles, he goes, troops, he's not having a good day today. Tell everyone he's not having a good day. He's not a morning person, So you get in car, you think, this piece of shit of a car, I don't like it. I could do with a better car. Why am I going to this job I don't like? I don't like my co-workers. And so on. It keeps going and going and going. But on the flip side, if you wake up, yeah, and you're like, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to have a really good day. I am a morning person. I can't wait to go to my job. It might not be the job I like, but at least I've got a job, especially in these times, And guess what? Everyone, he's having a good day. Tell Donny he's having a good day. And all of them go to work. There are millions of parts on the right-hand side, which is positive. Go to work and you start stacking positive things. And guess what? It attracts positive. We are balls of energy, right? And we can attract positive things.
Like a magnet. aren't we? If anything, we're like a magnet for the good and the bad. Ultimately, if you want good, you will magnetize good, and if you want bad, you will magnetize bad. And we're talking very, very simple here, very, very simple things, but it is that simple. This morning, I'm a very positive person. I once got called too positive to work in the industry that I worked in, and my fiance will confirm it. I was not a positive man this morning. We usually go for a walk together, and I actually refused, and I said, no, I'm going to stay here, do some more yoga on my own, put myself through the ringer, and go out on my own and come back. I came back a different man. In fact, I left the house a different man, because I left her a note to say sorry for being mangy next to the kettle, because I knew when she'd get in from a walk, she'd see it. So, but that's how it is, and that's being able to recognise when your day is not started off that well, and how you want to feel that day, and then putting some things in place for you to start moving that way, isn't it? And I think that's the key thing, isn't it? It's recognising it, understanding what's going on, and then putting some actions or certain things in place to get you in a good headspace for the day or the week ahead.
Yeah, no, and I just think that's how the mind works. You can either stack the positives to it, or you can stack the negatives. Change your attitude, change your altitude. If you want to perform high, you want to do these things, but you're stuck in this sodom negative effect, it's just going to get worse. It tumbles, doesn't it? The approach, whichever you take, and just try use that analogy that I mentioned about your brain being a factory, cut in half. You've got good and bad, positive and negative, and which one are you going to tell the troops? Which factory are you going to tell the troops to work in that day? And it can be that simple,
And let's just think about as well the fact that when these days do come, which they will, and I'm sure they have in the past, and I've had them, you've had them, Donny. I remember when I used to work in construction. It was just the norm, the tradition that when something went wrong at 7 o'clock in the morning, that was it for the day. It would continue. People expected that. That was their mindset of, they expected things to go wrong all day. And just look back at those times and just think, how did you feel that day? What was going through your mind? And how did you pull it around? How did you change it? And I'm sure something may have happened, something snapped, and you went off in a different direction. But certainly we won't have had much fun that day. I know that I've had some terrible days in the past, and it's because I've just let things roll on and on and on, and I've attracted more negative things towards me. Again, talking in the simplistic terms, positive and negative. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the things that can help us stay in this positive mindset, and don't get it twisted, I and Chris both have negative things come into our mind. We're not robots. We're not a well-oiled machine that doesn't get these things. But I think we've learned, both of us, I can speak for myself only really, but I've learned that habits that you form become the chain of your entire being. So like there's certain habits for me that I have to do that I know that sets myself up for positivity, for a positive day, shall we say. And they're waking up early. I like to get stuff done. I wake up at a relatively early time. I'll go for some exercise, whether it's yoga or a run, and I'll come back and I'll educate, and then I'll start my day. These are the steps I use to keep in a positive mindset, really, because if you're learning, that's a positive move. If you're running and keeping healthy, that's a positive move. So it's hard to get them negative in when you do triple stack positives before you've had breakfast.
Yeah, that's it. It's so powerful. And again, we're talking about a morning routine, and I talk about with everyone I work with. Morning routine is where your day is won or lost, and depending on what you do, when you roll over, get out of bed, whatever it is, whether you've got a 20-minute morning routine or a 2-hour morning routine, it's irrelevant. But it needs to get you where you want to be. If you want to be completely energized on a morning, you might do something different to having a calm, cool, relaxed morning. So it's finding out how you want to feel, how you want to be that day. Having a positive mindset is great, but how do you want to be? do you want to be supercharged and super energized, or do you need to be quite cool and just in a nice thought-provoking in a way, sort of a situation like that? So again, you can then start manipulating your mornings to suit how you want to feel. And I'm sure you do different things, Donnie, but I've got a different morning routine depending on what I've got on that day. If I've got a client at 9 o'clock, I need to be in the zone, focused, ready, rocking and rolling. And I might do some different things than if I'm doing a day of writing emails or, doing some recording. So it does depend on what we need in our lives as well. So that's something important to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, if you have any questions at all, just fire them in as we rant and rave, and we'll answer as and when. And today we're talking about positivity, but we're open to all questions because positivity, confidence, all these things kind of fall under the same bracket. And here we are.
It is, isn't it? And it's also linked, life and work or life and business is so linked. Having a positive life and achieving the things that you want are also linked to having a vision, creating the vision that you want, but then having the discipline and the attitude and the habits, the daily habits to actually get you there. And really starting to understand what you want in life will help you start to create the discipline and the desire from within that will give you the energy to start making these decisions on a morning. If you're a person that might roll over and have another half an hour and leaves sort of what may happen to the day to chance, the chances are you might not have not as powerful a goal. You might not have a clear vision of what you want to create in life, which therefore don't drive you to get out of bed and do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's all these little things that all connect to each other, which allow you to start working towards where you want to be.
Yeah, totally. And I think that having a bigger purpose than the X that, I can't get out of bed, I don't like X. And then it's like having a bigger outcome than that. Like, oh no, but if I do this, switching that not just negative, but almost using it as gratitude as well. Sometimes, like I can say something, and I thought briefly to you, Chris, last week, didn't I? I went to get a coffee, and we're living in Lisbon at the moment in Portugal, and crazy as it sounds, coffees are banned. Okay, so you're not allowed to have coffee. Anyway, I was in a negative headspace. I thought I'll change my environment. I'll go for a walk. Okay, so I went for a walk and I thought I'll just get a lovely coffee. I can't wait for this. And I went to get a coffee and they said, oh, it's illegal now to serve coffees. I thought, oh, what's going on? But in that moment, then I thought, how privileged. Instead of getting negative and running with a negative, I thought, how privileged am I that I'm upset about a coffee? There's people out there starving. There's people, dehydrating, and I'm worrying about a coffee. So it's just flipping that switch, and instead of, maybe feeling grateful for what you do have, other than not. So, okay, we've got a question here from Harriet. And when I get bored of routine, I like to change it up with a different type of workout, yoga every day. That's a perfect thing as well, That's not a question. It's an absolute rock solid piece of advice, Harriet, there. Keep it switched up. And that's a great thing to do.
I do the same. If if we do yoga on a night, it's usually to wind down, a bit of stretching and things like that. But on a morning, it's something to get us energized. So asking yourself again there, Harriet, how do you want to feel after your workout or your yoga session, and it will allow you to make better decisions, allow you to make really good decisions as well. So obviously, anyone else thinking about that as well, it's really powerful.
Yeah, so, keep them coming in, guys. Any questions? We're here to answer.
One thing that Donnie just touched on there with the whole reframing of how you think about stuff and think about things, gratitude is a huge part of everything that we do in a daily life. And the more grateful that we are of the small things, the ability to be able to do something, you might not even want to do it, but being grateful for just being able to go for a walk. When you think in that moment, that specific moment, about being grateful, just for a split second, it allows you to feel happy. It allows you to feel content and fulfilled for a moment, which can actually transform how you think that day. And, there's something that I do called priming. primes the brain every single morning with gratitude and the things that I want, and celebrating the things that I want from an abundant place as well. So the more gratitude that we can create within our lives early doors, the more likely we are to have a good day too. So definitely gratitude is number one thing I would say for anything that's anyone struggling with negativity.
Yeah, it's hard to be angry when you're happy, and gratitude brings happiness. Simple.
You can't do it. You can't be happy and unhappy at the same time.
Okay, so we've got another question here from Lee. Any advice you're bringing on this, Chris? I've sort of achieved, I think that's meant to say, so I'm taking it as it is. I've sort of achieved what I set out to do about 10 years ago, but I think I'm bored now with my work. Sort of know what I'd like to do going forward, but don't know where to start.
Okay.
So what would you give that there, Chris?
I would first ask Lee, have you achieved what you set out to do 10 years ago, or have you not? Is probably the first question. And were you happy with the result? Second question. And ultimately, what are you interested in life in? I don't know what you do for work or business or something like that, but what are you interested in, and what would you like to be known for in the next 10 years? I don't know if you've got family or anything like that, but is there something you'd like to leave for them, to create for them? Could you turn your passion into a profession? I don't know. But it's certainly just sitting down and really having to think about what you want, and really just really giving yourself that period of time. I mean, it took me to go to Australia to really figure out what I wanted, and ultimately to become a coach. I had to get 11,000 miles away from where I worked in Hull to go away and to really clear my mind and really understand what I wanted. And as soon as I knew it, it was like a lightning bolt had gone off in my brain. I had the epiphany moment, but I actually felt this experience in my body of that's what I need to do. So, maybe giving yourself some time somewhere in the woods or somewhere relaxing with a pad and paper and a pen, just to start journaling and just writing things down about what you're interested in, what your passions are, what excites you, what fulfills you, what motivates you to do certain things, and really just start understanding what's going on.
Yeah, I know Lee's a really top lad, and if it's a career change and you're not quite sure, or if you are sure, then make the move now, because we've never, I'm not sure if you do know where you want to be and you're not sure how to start, maybe just drop us an inbox and maybe we could help you on that. If you don't know where you want to be, again, don't worry about it. We've got nothing but time now as well, so you'll have a lot more time in these next few months, I'm guessing, to sort some inwards work and feel what you really want to do. But I think it's also important to say it's all right not to actually know fully, but if you've hit all your resources in your current job and you're a bit plateaued and you're feeling like a new challenge and the time is great to do that as well. I really do believe that as much as the world is collapsing in front of us, there's never been a better time to set up a business or online or to get your passion into a profession. I really think the time is now to do that. So if you need any help whatsoever, Lee, drop us a private message and we can hopefully help you sort that out, mate.
You're right. You're right. I didn't meditate at the time, Lee, so I chose to actually go in the physical body. I had a great time, but you're right. In 11,000 miles away, we'll get you to Australia. Also, as well, if you want a quick 15 minutes, I'm quite happy to have a quick chat with you as well. If you want to chat about anything, Lee, it's it'd be good to speak to you and see where you're at. So, yeah, any other questions?
Yeah,
really important. There's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people I speak to on a daily basis are stuck in this job that's all right, earning all right money, providing enough for the family, but not really satisfied with what they do. And it's almost been this comfortable place. There's so many people that do okay, do all right, doing well to some extent, but they're not quite happy and not quite fulfilled. And, they're sort of stuck in this rut place, really, where they're stuck to the salary or the job or their income. and they can't get out of it. And ultimately, that's what I love helping people do that. Put an exit plan in place and go from there. But you'll figure it out, Lee. You'll figure it out, and we're here if not.
Yeah, and what I would say about that as well, it's an interesting time for work in general, isn't it? If you're in a job now and you were a weekend warrior, as I used to call them, and your job you weren't happy with it, but you got there and you go out and you'd spend your wage and you just take your mind off work for a full weekend. You can't even do that now, can you? So there must be a lot of people who are feeling that way, and maybe now's the time to be positive, take that opportunity and think, no, I don't want this anymore. I want to be happy 7 days a week, not just 2, and I think that's it. We're at that we're at a groundbreaking point, I think, in the
I
time.
think it's absolutely brilliant. And I'm not being very sensitive there, but I think the time now is absolutely fantastic, because if you are struggling, now is your opportunity to make a change. You'll never have a better opportunity to make a change. And if the chips are down, the only way is up, and the only way to really, really succeed in doing anything is to do it on your terms and live life on your terms, and that's usually creating a business for yourself. And as you know, Donny, and I know, it's possible for anyone to create a business with the right positive mental attitude. And again, if you don't like your job, get out of it. Take the furlough for as long as you can, set up a side hustle, figure it out, save as much money as you possibly can up in a bank, and then leave your job, and why not? Because there's no better time like now than to set a business up, especially in the online world where the majority of things can be done online. 20 years ago, were they teaching yoga online? Definitely not. 20 years ago, were they doing any coaching online? Definitely not. 20 years ago, I've seen Pitbull is doing an online concert. He's doing a full concert online. Do you think he was thinking about that 20 years ago, or 5 years ago, 2 years ago? Definitely not. So there is an opportunity out there for absolutely everyone. In any sort of industry at the minute, it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's so true. And going back to that, like the people who are positive in this, going back to positivity, are the people that have that brain switch to adapt and overcome, because they almost know that they're bigger than the situation in some ways,
Yeah, definitely. Sophie Ford said it's tree planting season now. I don't think you can plant trees online. However, it's really good that you are hopefully busy and you are still planting plenty of trees. I know a company I work with, the landscaping company, they're doing really, really well. So it's good to see, and there is work out there as well, which by the sounds of it. So again, there are industries doing really well, and there are people doing well if they want to do well. It's good. It's really, really good.
The metaphor for planting seeds now to let them grow as well. So I'm not sure if that's a metaphor or a physical tree planter, but it is planting trees now in the winter, and it's hard to, business is hard now in the winter, but if you plant your trees now, they'll grow, and that's, I don't know if it were a metaphor, but I'm making it one. So
that's it. Yeah, well, it's win-win. It's double ender. So
yeah. Okay, guys. Any more questions? Let us know. We're going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. So yeah, if you want to ask any questions, we're here. We're joined by Chris Fawcett, our coach, and yeah, use him wisely, guys. This is what he's here for.
I was going to ask a question actually, and it's has anyone got a burning desire of a question they want to ask? Because what I find, there's a lot of people out there that are thinking certain things but don't say it. But what actually is happening is there's so many other people thinking the same thing. So all it takes is for just maybe one person to ask the question, and you may help 10, 15, 500 other people at the same time. So in group scenarios, it's really good for people to ask questions if they're unsure or they've got a question, because there's probably so many other people thinking the same thing too. So it's just something that I've recognised over my time as well. So Sophie Ford is a physical tree planter. and tree surgeon, just waiting for travel clearance to plant up north. Excellent.
There you are.
Amazing.
I got it wrong. I'm thinking two business switch. Sorry.
Good to see. So
no worries. Lee as well. Yeah, and then okay, so we're going to leave it. If there's no questions, I'll break away if there's some. So get them in quickly if you're watching. Yeah. I'm going to leave it on a challenge. Actually, I want to do like a 7-day challenge. Okay, and it sounds hard, but it is very possible. Okay, so Tony Robbins tipped me off on this book. It is called the 7-Day Mental Diet, and it is simple as not letting a negative thought run wild in your brain for 7 days. Now, I'm not saying don't have one, because I think that's impossible. Yeah. You're going to get them negative thoughts like you today, Chris. You didn't want to get out of bed. What I'm saying is, don't let it run. Don't squash it now before it gets to the size of Godzilla. Squash it now and delete it. So you can do that by switching it for something else. You can, turn that into, like I said, gratitude. You could just straight up cut it off there and then, or you could swap it for a positive thought. And I want to do that as a challenge. So let me know if you're in, if you're in there with the challenge, and let me know how you get on as well. Secondly, just do that for 7 days, because we are all habits that we form, and they become the big picture. So if we can squash these in 7 days, imagine what we can do.
Yeah, definitely.
In the long run as well. You're just starting to create that habit.
A couple of little tips for you on that as well. Being really intentional with yourself. So when a thought comes in, because thoughts come in, and you can use these negative thoughts. And this is where sometimes, people I'm just positive. It's like, let's utilize the negative emotion and find out why that negative emotion is here and utilize it. And like you say, turn it around and turn it into something else, turn it into action towards something positive. And also be quite specific with yourself in terms of time. Say, right, I'm going to give myself 90 seconds or 2 minutes to deal with this. And then that is it. So if you have to jump up and down, if you have to run around, whatever you need to do, but just give yourself a small period of time, a small window of time to just deal with it and process it, and then wipe it out. If you need to do some deep breathing, whatever it may be, it will help, it will work. And then also as well, ask yourself, is it going to actually affect me still in 90 days? Is this problem, this challenge, this scenario, is it going to matter in 90 days? And the chances are very unlikely it's not going to matter in 90 days. And when you can take control of your mind and answer your own questions, say, no, it's not going to matter. This is what I'm going to feel like. This is what I'm going to do. Bang. And then I'm going to deal with it in the next 90 seconds. Bang, you're in control. And then you can start working with these thoughts and start actually utilizing them to your benefit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really well point made, and it's how you look at life in general that I believe. And yeah, just does it matter in 90 days? And I think that's a great question to ask yourself with any problem that comes, and maybe try that in the 7-day challenge.
That's what you want to be doing, because if not, it'll be more difficult.
Yeah.
These are the little hacks that you can create to yourself, not only to change your own mindset, but also to complete the challenge. And then after the 7 days, it becomes more normal, shall we say?
Yeah, well, it gets easier over time, does it? Because you create a habit, and the habit forms itself almost if you keep feeding it with positive.
Yeah, so amazing. We've got, so it looks like Lee's got a new job sorted.
Yeah, I've just seen that. We've planted a few trees here, literally. Go on.
They've sprouted very, very well.
In green, we like it. So yeah, that is a challenge. I hope you all accept it and get on with it, and let us know how you're doing. Any other questions, guys? If you're watching this on replay or any other time, me and Chris will always look through the comments, and then we'll go from there, and we'll try and answer your questions as much as possible.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, just drop us a message. Add me on Facebook if you want, and let's have a chat, see where you're at, and go from there. But enjoy the challenge, and like you said, just start implementing these little things, and you will realize that things will change automatically for you.
Yeah.
And 6-12 months down the line, you won't even notice what you've done, but you'll have changed incredibly.
Yeah, it's that 1% push, isn't it? Be better than tomorrow. Yeah, keep being better by just 1%. It doesn't sound much because it isn't much, but over the year, you become such a better person. And you're thinking, how did I get here? And it's just a millimetre shifts.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us. Again, any questions, just pop them in the comments and we'll answer them through text. Okie doke. Peace and love.
Say bye.